Salvete omnes. This is Abbey Latin, Liber Secundus. Caput vigessimum primum, chapter 21, exercise B. We will be declining fifth declension nouns. Well, I don't know, maybe I threw in some other declensions. We'll have to look at the genitive singulars in order to determine that. All right, so let's decline. You cannot decline to decline. So, acies, a feminine, a sharp edge, a point, battle line. It's related to the adjective acer. Okay, so acies, a feminine. Why, a, that's a fifth declension feminine noun. Remember, the genitive singular ending for first declension is an ae pronounced I. For second declension, it's a long I pronounced e. For the third declension, it's an is pronounced is. For the fourth declension, it's a long U and then an S, us. And then for the fifth declension, an E and a long I, A, like what we have here. Remember that majority of fifth declension nouns are feminine. There are a few masculines, the most prominent being dies, but even dies can show up as feminine. But there's no difference in endings between the masculine and the feminine, or the feminine and the masculine. So, the nominative is acies, as it's given to you in the dictionary entry. The genitive singular, because the stem doesn't change. The editor saw fit to just give you the genitive singular ending. So aciei, that is A-C-I-E-I, altogether, aciei. When you chop off that genitive singular ending, that EI, you get aki, A-C-I is the stem. And we're going to put that stem in the remaining 8 blanks. So aki, 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 aki. Isn't this fun? Aki, aki, ACI. And now we're going to add fifth declension feminine endings, or we could just say fifth declension endings, which are ace, a, am, a, ace, erum, abus, ace, abus. To get acies, aciei, aciei, aciem, aciae, acies, acierum, aciebus, acies, aciebus. Optime. Hopefully that was pretty simple. It does not get much more difficult than that. And because this is the end of our noun adventure in Latin, congratulations. Hopefully, this seems very simple right now. Dies, a masculine, can show up as feminine. Daylight, daytime, day, or date. So dies is the nominative singular. The genitive singular is diei. The stem is d, di. And then we add fifth declension endings, masculine, feminine, are the same. To get dies, diei, diei, diem, die, dies, dierum, diebus, dies, diebus. Yes, it is related to the word deus, which means God. Fides, a feminine, which means faith, trust, or loyalty. The nominative is fides, the genitive is fidei, the stem is feed, F-I-D. And we get fides, fidei, fidei, fidem, fide, fides, fiderum, fidebus, fides, fidebus. Probably should have said fide. Hold that E a little bit longer. So we get the English expression bona fide. It's bona fide, which is ablative, in good faith. Bona fide, in good faith. Meridies, a masculine. It's masculine because it's a compound of dies. So meridies, middle of the day. So it means midday, noon, noontime. So ante meridiem would be our abbreviation AM, before noon. And then post meridiem, PM, afternoon, not post millennium. So meridies is the nominative, meridiae is the genitive, meridi is the stem, and then we add fifth declension endings to get meridies, meridiae, meridiae, meridiem, meridie, meridies, meridierum, meridiebus, meridies, meridiebus. Yes, a word you often see in the plural. Noons, noon times, right? Middays. All right, res, a feminine, stuff. This word has a lot of different translations. It depends upon context. Think about what the word stuff means in English. It depends upon context. If I tell you, go to your locker and clean out your stuff, if I tell you, go to your office and clean out your stuff, and go to your bedroom and clean out your stuff, and go to your cubicle and clean out whatever, the place where where you're going, the locker, the cubicle, the bedroom, wherever, the office, the stuff in there is different depending upon that location. So this word requires a lot of context in order to sort of make it work. It forms the root of some very important words, like, for instance, real, R-E-A-L. What is real? Well, it's it's res. It's stuff like reality. Realitas is the Latin. Realitas, reality, realness. We get the word republic that comes from this. In re, when you're sending emails, it means in the matter of. This is what this stuff is about. All right, so the nominative is res, the genitive is rei, the stem is just an R, ra. Adding fifth declension endings, we get res, rei, rei, rem, re, res, rerum, rebus, res, rebus. Are you in re right now or in intellect? Space, a feminine, that is hope, expectation, anticipation. So we get space, genitive spei, this stem is spa. Adding fifth declension endings, we get space, spay, spay, spam, spay, space, sperum, spebus, space, spebus. Alrighty, optime, very well done. Hopefully now declining nouns is easy because this is the last of our primary declining noun exercises. You should pretty much know almost all the nouns, or at least how to decline any noun in Latin, provided you know the dictionary entry. Congratulations. All right, you are now ready to move on to Chapter 21, Exercise C. Volete omnes.